Hi there VC, Chris back again for a quick video, well at least I hope it's going to be quick. Just to recap a VC meetup that we had in the UK a week ago. It was down in Birmingham, which is in the centre of England, so fairly easy for everyone to get to. We also had two locals, so it was very easy for them to get there. So we had Steve Whitty and John the 6-inch pianist were there. We also had John Bellamy, who'd come up from Wales. We had Headley, who'd come down from Yorkshire, and we had James Griffiths, who'd come down from Preston, and myself from Newcastle. So a small but perfectly formed group of ageing vinyl enthusiasts. I'd never been to Birmingham before other than for work purposes. Although I've got family down there, never visited them. So it was a bit of a turn up for the books for me to see anything other than a hotel lobby in Birmingham. So that was quite nice. As is the want for these things, we met in a pub because, well, why not? It helps loosen the purse strings a little bit. And then we made our way along to the first of two shops that we went to. The centre of Birmingham apparently only has two sort of really good record shops, and there's other ones dotted further afield, but given the sort of time span that we had, well, we just couldn't make it. So the first one we went to was this place, the Discovery, which I was reliably informed is the oldest record shop in the UK. They didn't seem to make much of a song and dance about it, but hey ho. It was your typical second-hand record shop, really. Although they did have some new stuff in as well. But racks of special priced stuff, special collector stuff. You could just hunt around and find stuff. And one of the first things I saw and picked up was this, which was the main purchase for me of the whole weekend. And this is Greenslade's 1973 album, Bedside Manners Are Extra. And I've got a soft spot for this album because for a lot of years, that was the poster up on my bedroom wall. Well, the glaze there, it's about better. So I had that on my bedroom wall for a lot of years. Greenslade, sort of keyboard-driven prog music. Great stuff, very atmospheric. Loved it. It's UK first press. The cover's in not bad condition considering the age, and the vinyl's perfect. Not a mark on it. And I've played one side of this. I haven't played both sides, but there was no pops, crackles, or anything. It played perfectly. I think I've only played a couple of these albums, and then again, just one or two tracks on them, although I have heard most of them already before. Then I got, that cost me 20 quid, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things for a UK first pressing, which is in great nick, I was more than happy to pay. But I got quite a good deal on everything else I picked up, because everything else I picked up afterwards had a price tag of like £1 or £2, or perhaps 3 or 4 quid for one of them. But basically, the guy gave me the rest of the stuff that I picked up for a quid each. So that was fine. So first one I picked up was Push by Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf were a sort of UK melodic rock band, best known for having Jason Bonham in the band. The other guy who's kind of well known on the scene is the vocalist Chris Housey. And yeah, it's reasonable stuff. I was never a huge fan of it when I was kind of young. I've heard some bits and pieces recently which I've quite liked, so I thought for the money, it was only a quid. And it's a promo copy, and again, it's a nice clean copy. Then still sealed in the shrink, although it's got a cutout, is the Danny Wilde album, The Boyfriend. Danny Wilde of kind of Rembrandt's and Friends theme song fame. This is his first solo album, kind of in that period when the Rembrandts had sort of produced their first album, then went off the scene, and then Friends kind of brought them back together again, and they did some more stuff. It's still sealed, not opened this one yet, but I picked it up primarily because it's got Pat Mastelotto on drums. Pat, who was in a similar, played in a similar vein on the Mr. albums, so sort of that melodic rock type thing, but obviously now is one of the 3 drumming members of King Crimson. Then picked up this, Little Stephen, the Disciples of Stole. Men Without Women. I've not played this one yet. I think this was his first solo album. Comes with a inner sheet. I saw Little Stephen, and we would have been around about this time, play a gig in Newcastle. It was called the Beer Keller, which was a venue that put some bands on, but not that many. It was really kind of just a grotty old pub, really. But Little Stephen played, and there was me and about 3 other people in the crowd for that gig, but they were absolutely superb. The only other person I kind of recognised on the album without sort of looking into it too much was John Beauvoir, who played bass in Wendy Williams' band and went on to do Crown of Thorns and things like that. And then what I picked up on spec, and I have played one side of this. This is Golden Avatar, A Change of Heart. Wasn't sure what it was going to be, but it was marked for £1. It was very clean. The cover's in good nick. Looking on Discogs, I probably paid about 50 pence too much for it. There you go. But it's fairly inoffensive, Christian, slightly proggy, folky stuff. I suppose a very poor man's Bartley James Harvest in a way. But for £1, it's certainly something I'll put on again. Then, so I always try and pick something up for Jill when I go on these things because, well, one, she doesn't like me spending money, so if I'm spending some of it on her, it kind of lessens the blow somewhat. So I picked up this, which is Billie Squires' 4th album. It's not an album I particularly enjoyed when it came out, but again, I've heard bits of it recently, and it didn't sound so bad, and for £1, wasn't going to turn it down. It's in good nick. It's not as good as the 2 preceding this, Don't Say No and Emotions in Motion, but I've played one side of this already, and I liked it better than I thought I would. Jill loved it. And then the kind of surprise package of the day, and again, this was marked as £1, so despite getting some of the discount knocked off the other stuff, this was going to be just cost me £1. And it's Shirley Bassey at the Pigalle, if that's how you pronounce it, Lord only knows. And it's a live album from Lord knows when, because I couldn't find a date anywhere on here. Oh, 1965, so the year after I was born. And it is absolutely brilliant. For an album that came out 54 years ago, it's in great nick. Okay, there's the odd crackle and pop, but nothing too much, and I think a decent clean will sort that out. But boy, is she in great voice on this. For those of you who don't know Shirley Bassey, that might be the case with some of you from the States. Shirley was a sort of cabaret singer from Wales who had an amazing voice, but was known for big sort of show-stopping tunes and that kind of thing. The last song on track 1 is absolutely amazing. The version on here is brilliant. It's I Who Have Nothing, and it is brilliant. It's a Lieber and Stoller song, and it's great. But that was the find of the day. I've played that a few times, and I've no doubt play it again more over the next few weeks. Anyway, that was our first foray into a record shop. Obviously, by this point, we were all getting a bit peckish and a bit thirsty. So, as you do, we headed off to Wetherspoons and had some grub and some beer. Always helps. Because it was, basically the Wetherspoons was halfway between the Discreet and the next shop we were going to. And the next shop we were going to was Swordfish. Now, Swordfish, I felt a little bit uncomfortable in. For one reason and one reason alone, it was bloody boiling in there. I was sweating like a pig. I had to get out. It didn't stop me buying things, mind, but no, it was just too hot in there for me. So I only bought a couple of things in there. And I picked up this, which is Squires, and it's their album Carnival, which I think is their 4th album, which came out in the early 80s. I'm saying early 80s? Yeah, 1980. Now, Squires are one of those bands that I hated when this came out. I couldn't stand them. They had a couple of tracks in the UK charts, so appeared on UK TV. Didn't like them when they did that. There was a great music series called Rock Goes to College, and I'm pretty sure they were one of the acts on Rock Goes to College, which was basically a live show of bands who were kind of sort of breaking it around about that time. So we had, the AC/DC appeared on it. But they're a sort of jazz, rock, jazz fusion type band. And I picked up a couple of years ago the first album, or the second album, no, the second album. And on a whim, because it was £2, and I really, really liked it. So saw this again, I think it was about £4. Picked it up. I haven't played it yet, but we'll see. But there you go, that's one of those things, years ago I would never have touched this with a barge pole. But time ages the ears or something. And finally, I actually bought a new album. And I bought it just because I loved the cover. And here we go. And I've played one side of this. This is Buzz Rodeo. And Buzz Rodeo are a sort of German punk band, power trio, power trio kind of thing. But it had this weird sort of embossed medallion on the cover. I don't know if you can see that. It's not showing up very well, but it does stick out, which is going to make it a bugger packing it up into the record shelves. But I really like the cover, and I was really pleasantly surprised at what came out of it. So weirdly got a sort of badminton racket and shuttlecock on the medallion there. But really enjoyed it. Sort of like I say, slightly punk, art, rock type thing. Really enjoyed it though. Anyway, that was it. That was the pickups from the Birmingham VC meetup. We've vowed to meet up again, and word was mentioned of Bristol being our next foray into the record buying sphere. So hopefully that will get sorted relatively soon. I think we're aiming for sometime late in the year or beginning of next year, but it'll be good to meet up with the guys again. So there you go. That was my VC pickups. See you all later. Bye now.